I'd be lost without this place. My husband died Christmas, so I've been on my own and I've had a terrible time. I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for these people.
Well, companionship for a start off. I mean, a lot of them, if they didn't have this centre to come to, they'd be housebound, they'd have nothing. They'd have no companionship, no friendship, nothing like that at all.
If funding was taken away from Onneley House, what sort of impact do you think it'd have on your life?
I should be even lonelier, for the simple reason I come here mainly for company, because I haven't got much of a social life, and I've found real friends here.
I live alone in sheltered accommodation, yes, private sheltered accommodation, and it means the structure of my daily life, because I can't see. I have very many and varied illnesses, you know, rheumatoid and arthritis, and I could not get out of that flat if I didn't have somewhere to come. If we're all in our own place, not seeing a living soul, you get depressed. You won't come over here and look at us now. We're all yak, 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 and we're all happy. And look what it would mean to the NHS alone if we didn't have an Onneley House.
Yes.
We would be depression, we'd be in hospital half the time or in the doctors. And we'd have to have far more medication than we're already getting.
We feel that we've got a very valuable resource for the community here. But obviously Birmingham City Council, who fund our salaries, have been forced by government to make a cut of about a third of the budget. And although we do run on charitable contributions and a lot of voluntary help, that money is essential really to cover the salary costs of our paid members of staff. But increasingly we are taking people who are coming from day centres and other resources that have now shut down, and they want to use our facilities as well. So in a way we've become the victim of our own success really. We get increasing numbers of people coming every year. I think at the last count it was over 22,000 that were using the centre per year.
If I could have all your attentions for one moment, please. Thank you. I want to introduce you to Jennifer and Terry, and they're going to speak to you about home care this morning, and they'll give you a leaflet. They'll come round from table to table and speak to you. Okay?
It was previously run as a traditional day centre with traditional values. The building is now owned by Harborne Parish Land Charity, and they set up the initial seed funding for this building. But initially I worked with all the existing services in the area and the local community to find out what older people want, and they wanted something more active. They wanted to come in and dance, they wanted to do exercise, they wanted a nice place to have lunch, and this is how the centre came from that.
I can't cook, so I come here for my daily midday meal. I come here 3 or 4 times a week, depending, but mostly 3 times a week.
So what sort of impact would it have on your nutrition, your food, your eating, if you didn't have this facility?
Well, I would be living on cardboard meals from the shops. I call them cardboard meals because that's what they taste like. But I can come over here and have a proper meal every day.
But every day is the number is different. For example, on Wednesday it's about 30. For the Thursday, sometimes about 40. So, but every week may be a bit different. So, roughly average for a week is about 150 meals. Sometimes I ask them what they want, and sometimes put some my things like the Chinese New Year. I cook Chinese meal. Like the Diwali, I cook Indian dinner, and I will try to have some different things. It used to they don't like Chinese meal. Ooh, Chinese meal, rice. I say it's really nice. You try it. Once they try it, they love it.
the lunch clubs, we keep them very low cost. They only just cover their costs because we want people to be able to afford them. Quite often older people, particularly in the winter, have to choose between heat and food. That's how tight their budgets are. And we know that a lot of people living in the community are malnourished. So by putting on a range of healthy choices that they can afford, we're helping to address that. And the social interaction as well during the lunch clubs is very important for people, and ticks a lot of boxes in terms of health as well. But it's about happiness, isn't it? About human happiness and enjoyment. It's not enough just to survive in old age. Surely we're supposed to enjoy old age as well. That's part of it.
They really love to come here. They really enjoy. After 1 or 2 months they come here, they're really happy. The first time they come, all really thin and like that. 1 month, they're all happy, laughing, fatter, and it's more healthier, you know what I mean? It's really, they need to think about if they cut the funding for the elderly people or the centre. That's really bad choice, I think.
It's progressed in a lot of ways, but I think the most important thing is kept the same values, putting the service users and the clients first and trying to ensure that they have a healthy meal. For many older people, it's the only time they come out, particularly the one group that's run on a Wednesday. It's their only time that they come out of the house. It would be dreadful if the funding was lost and this centre closed. It would be a huge loss to Harborne.
I've dedicated my time now to the centre because now it's become part of my family as well, and I see them as part of my family, and I want to keep the centre going for them. So it would have a big impact on my life. It would have meant I've given up my nursing post at Moseley to come and do something which was just going to be a waste of time, really. I would have wasted my time. We want to keep this place open. It's used by 22,000 people more a year. They love coming, we love them coming. We want to keep it open, they need us. We don't want people to be socially isolated in the community and just staring, like you say, at 4 walls all the time. It's not good. So we want to get this centre open and keep striving and building on it. We want to start getting some new stuff going, dementia, falls clinics. Let's build on it and make sure that we can serve in the community in all areas.
On a Monday night, they come in and use the centre to do Pilates. Tuesday is the Weight Watchers. Wednesday we have Janet Jackson and her dancing group. Sometimes as well we have the Moose people come in to use it in the afternoon on a Wednesday. And the Sinatra group use it to do their functions. The Labour Party use it. The Conservatives use it sometimes. And then we have Akram and they do their prayers on a Friday morning, and then sometimes they use it through the evening.
We do sequence dancing, we do line dancing, and we do the ballroom dancing.
If I was to come to you as a new starter, having 2 left feet, what sort of training could you give me?
Well, I'm not allowed to say I teach because I haven't passed any exams. But I always say I can show you how to do it. I take them on and put them through the steps, you know.
Well, I teach them bridge, and it's very satisfying because the ones that I have now, I've had them since they didn't know a thing about bridge, and they're 70-year-old ladies, you know, although they're very bright, and you know, so it's great to think it's opened a new world for these women, you know, and men.
Well, that's absolutely vital for me. We don't go door to door, couldn't go anywhere at all. So we have the Ringland Ride, which picks us up at where we live.
If you could send a message out to people who hold the purse strings, what would that message be to them right now, where we are today, with a third of the funding being cut for Onneley House? What would your message be to them?
I think value for money. Onneley House is costs very low amount of money to keep the service running compared with most statutory day centres and funding, and it's making a huge difference to people's lives. I think they should look at value for money and not cut the third sector funding as they have, and try and continue to fund it as much as possible.
Far better to pay the money now than later, when everybody starts getting ill from sticking in four walls. And
it saves the government, it saves the country a heck of a lot of money, just by keeping us all happy as we are when we come over and we meet each other. And as long as you've got someone to do these things, to find out about different day trips. We go to Kidderminster Market, the Severn Valley Railway. It's only a little trip to everyone, but to us that can't get out.
In a way, I'm so glad to have this opportunity to ask for help, but really I think I'm also wanting to demand help. Our older people, we should have an enjoyable life. We should be treating them with the respect, with the dignity that they deserve, and we should be putting on this type of service. It's not right that we're not, that they don't have this sense of community, and we should put our money where our mouths is. Certainly our volunteers are doing that with their time, and help address this. This is what we want from our society. Let's make it happen.